from Simon Scott Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. The Darren DeVries era for Indiana basketball is off to a scorching start. They lead Alabama A&M 58-22 at the half. The second half, moments away from starting alongside Zach Browning. My name is Quincy Bell. Zach, we saw the Hoosiers light it up from beyond the arc, in the paint, at the free throw line on the defensive end. They can do no wrong in that half.
Yeah, Quincy, what we saw in that first half from Indiana must feel foreign to a lot of the Indiana folks watching this contest tonight. 6 of 14 from three, that's 43%. How about 14 for 14 at the free throw line? How about 58 points and a half in general? There wasn't necessarily a ton of fast break points. The way that fast break points are calculated on our stat broadcast, a little awkward. So they don't typically count a ton in that department, but Indiana played with pace. They played with tempo. They shot and made a lot of threes, and the free throw line is something that Indiana fans haven't seen in quite some time. So I'd say this is just about as good of a start as Indiana could have asked for to begin the Darren DeVries era.
For you math majors out there, they are on pace to win this game 116-44. To have that dominant of a half, it doesn't really matter how great your opponent is. You got to play great in all facets to lead the game by 36 and a half. The two stars of the show were Lamar Wilkerson and Sam Alexis, both with 15 points. Wilkerson 4 of 8 from beyond the arc, even made an and one three. Alexis 5 of 5 from the floor and 4 of 4 from the line. Both of those two leading the scoring for Indiana. They have a combined 30. Tucker DeVries leads the team with rebounds and assists with 7 and 3 respectively. On the flip side for Alabama A&M, no player in double figures. Kentavious Dozier has 8. Sam Pieces with 7. And Davis, in his return to the Hoosier State, has 5. Reed Bailey was impressive in that first half as well. 11 points, 7 of 7 from the line. Pulled down 2 rebounds and 2 assists. But this could be a time, Zach, when you see a lot more of the bench players, role players get some playing time, and sort of an open audition for the head coach, see what everybody's got.
Well, and that's valuable right now for Indiana because there's not a lot of healthy bodies on the roster. If you just look at the scholarship players on this roster, Alexa Ristich, he's dealing with an injury. Jason Drake is dealing with an injury. No Nick Dorn tonight as well. He's nearing a full comeback, and Josh Harris is out as well, and that's just the scholarship players. So there's not a ton of options from a scholarship perspective off the bench for Darren DeVries, but when you've got a game on Sunday against Marquette, a game that is an important early season non-conference start to this schedule for Indiana, getting a couple of guys out a little bit earlier than maybe you would have otherwise is definitely a good thing for the Hoosiers.
That game against Marquette will be Sunday at the United Center in Chicago. Second half set to start here from Assembly Hall. 20 minutes on the clock. The Hoosiers lead it 58-22. Alabama A&M will have the first possession, moving from right to left as we view it from Section K at Assembly Hall. Dozier inbounds to Pieces, and the second half is underway. Pieces walks it down, gives it top of the key. Jab step from Lou Hutchinson gives way now to P.J. Eason. Dribble, handoff, stepping into the lane. Big jump shot, too far from Karan Davis, and Reed Bailey comes down with the rebound. Moves it across the timeline, now walks it down on the right wing. Conaway gets it, right wing crossover, into the lane, drives, lost it for a second, but they will get a foul underneath on Karan Davis. That is his second.
Quincy, I just took a peek up at the monitor here in Section K at the Big Ten Network broadcast. They just put up a graphic that said that 36-point halftime lead for Indiana is the largest halftime lead for the Hoosiers since 2011.
A very long time since IU has had this dominant of a half. Bounce pass to Enright. He'll drop it back for DeVries on the left wing. Drives on Dozier. Chopped off. Now he's double teamed. Throws it cross court to Conaway. Now Wilkerson in the corner. Jab steps. Gets into the lane. DeVries. Extra pass. Enright. Conaway. Wilkerson wide up into the corner. Misses it long. Rebound comes to Karan Davis. Hand off to Pieces, who will move it across the timeline for the Bulldogs. Guarded by Conaway near midcourt. Looking for a pass, and he hands it off. Three-man weave for the Bulldogs. Pieces gets it back. Conaway still on it. Left wing, top of the key. Three attempt from Tyhan Davis. Drops home, and Alabama A&M scores first in the second half. They scored first in the first half as well. Karan Davis and one put them up 3-0 to start. But it's 58-28, the lead for the Hoosiers with 18:50 to go in the second half. DeVries, top of the key from way downtown, drops it home, nothing but net. 61 points for Indiana. 61-25, the lead for the Hoosiers. Lou Hutchinson gives way to Kentavious Dozier, drives into the lane, left-handed layup, no good, but he's fouled underneath by Enright. Enright yet to be on the scoreboard today for Indiana, but he's provided some good defense in the minutes that he has played.
Yeah, and Quincy, in an era where a lot of guys care about their scoring numbers and what their points per game averages are, Connor Enright does not. He would rather, I think if you asked him, have 10 assists and 10 steals than score at all. I think he just wants to impact the game in every way possible outside of scoring.
First free throw from Dozier, rims in and out. He's shooting into the Indiana student section with a lot of fat heads of numerous players. I see Daniel Jones, Tyrese Halliburton, Drake, LeBron James. Second one misses. Bailey comes down with the rebound, which means the Hoosiers fans, Zach, they all get free fries.
Hey, nobody's ever complained about free fries.
The Indiana student section as ruthless as any in the entire country. Conaway will inbound it in the backcourt for Indiana. Slowly bounces it to DeVries. 61-25, the lead for the Hoosiers with 18:20 to go in the half. Bailey, high post handoff to Wilkerson. Steps back now, Enright top of the key. Drives into the lane. Back to Wilkerson. His pass got tipped. Scramble for it at midcourt, and Alabama A&M will take it over. Gabe Kinsey with the steal. Hands to St. Pieces near midcourt. Standing on the Indiana State logo. Drives to the right wing. Throws it over to Dozier. His pass got tipped, and Wilkerson comes away with a steal. Up ahead, Conaway. Behind the back to Bailey. Had to pick it up off the ground. DeVries, right wing. Steps almost into a three, but he thought better. Gives way to Wilkerson. Now Enright back to DeVries. Into the middle for Reed Bailey. He'll drive to the right block. Spin. Chopped off by Pieces, and he took it away. Bulldogs moving the other way. An easy feed down low, but a missed layup by Eason. Scramble for the ball on the court. Four bodies go to the ground for it. It's a tie-up. And I believe the Hoosiers will get it. There's a discussion going on the court. There might be a foul on the play. I believe Indiana called timeout there. The head ref was pointing to DeVries, but it looks like Indiana just got it on the timeout. So the Hoosiers will move it from left to right. Conaway brings it across the timeline. Hand off to Enright. Throws it to DeVries. Right wing three. Misses short. Ball knocked away and picked up by Kentavious Dozier, who will move it across the timeline for the Bulldogs. Dozier. Crossover at the free throw line. Back to Pieces. Guarded tightly by Conaway. Now Dozier right wing. Now Pieces top of the key. And some jostling for position off of the ball. P.J. Eason got tied up with Lamar Wilkerson, and he'll draw a foul.
And you know, that's part of the question on this Indiana team. You're going to be smaller. Your tallest player is 6'10". That isn't really a size disadvantage in this one, considering Alabama A&M is not too big themselves. But when you start three guards, and all three guards are smaller or on the smaller side, and Wilkerson, Enright, and Conaway, how can you defend kind of those mismatches? Wilkerson did a good job there of battling for position and drawing that foul.
Indiana with the ball up 61-25 with 16:50 to go in the game. Reed Bailey hands off to Conaway. Top of the key looking. Now down low to Bailey. A beautiful entry pass. And the Davidson transfer slams it down with two hands. 63-25 Hoosiers as Alabama A&M loses it. Outlet pass from DeVries to Conaway. All alone. Off the backboard for Bailey, who slams it down again. Timeout Bulldogs. The Hoosiers up by 40. Zach. How about that sequence?
That is the new Darren DeVries era in a nutshell. Creative offensive set to get Reed Bailey the first dunk. You force a turnover on one end, you're out and running, and Tatum Connerway, that's the embodiment of Indiana basketball in this new era under Darren DeVries. The unselfish play to not take the easy bucket, to not take the easy dunk himself, but to inject as much energy as we've seen into this building in years, Quincy, at this point, to throw it off the glass. And I'm not sure I've seen this building this juiced since Trace Jackson Davis played here in Bloomington.
I'm right there with you, Zach. And I think that the off-the-glass pass from Connerway was the right move. He had P.J. Easton running to chase him down. Set it up perfect for Bailey. That was just a wonderful play. 16:22 to go for Indiana. I believe they're taking the media timeout right now. So we'll have no stoppages until the under 12 media timeout. But Reed Bailey has now tied Wilkerson and Alexis for the leading scorer for the Hoosiers. All three of them at 15. We'll see which of those three ends the game as the leading scorer. DeVries could be in that running as well. He has 10. Connerway has 8. Sisler, the only other Hoosier to get on the scoreboard, he has 2. And the assists have been flowing as well. Indiana with 22 made field goals. Zach, 15 have come off of assists.
Yeah, that's a good ratio, a good assist to made field goal ratio. I think if I were to put myself in the shoes of Darren DeVries, though, to play devil's advocate, the 7 turnovers he's probably not going to be too happy with, but that happens when you play with that frenetic energy that he wants his team to play with. It's not always going to be perfect. Again, these guys still kind of getting on the same page with each other. They had a little bit of an advantage over most teams. They got a lot of extra practices. I believe it was 10 extra practices this summer because of their Puerto Rico trip. They obviously had the 3 exhibition games in Puerto Rico as well to familiarize themselves with each other. But this is still a roster. There were 2 guys that played on the team, played together last year on this roster. Connor Enright, Tucker DeVries, they have a little familiarity with each other from their time together at Drake. But Josiah Miles and Josh Harris, and Harris isn't even playing tonight, are the only 2 that came from the same school last season. So this is new faces trying to learn each other. And so the turnovers may be a little bit excused at this point.
Still, though, the assist-to-turnover ratio is over 2-1. Timeout over. Alabama A&M will have it moving from right to left as we view it from Assembly Hall. Pieces is guarded closely in the backcourt by Wilkerson, but he gets it across the timeline. Bounce pass to Eason and a foul away from the ball. It'll be going back to the Hoosiers. They get Eason for the foul. That is his 4th. And he will go to the bench in favor of James Flippin, the 6'10", 275-pound senior from Milwaukee. Head coach for Alabama A&M, Dante Jackson, is also from Milwaukee. And there's one more Milwaukee player on the roster, James Graham. Alexis down low to Wilkerson, who throws it down. Backdoor pass, nobody underneath to stop the Sam Houston transfer. 67-25, the lead for the Hoosiers. Pieces at midcourt. Feeds Dozier. Looking, driving into the lane. Layup is blocked by Alexis. He bats it out of bounds with authority. And they will take the media timeout with 15:46 to go in the game. We'll step aside for a moment. Hoosiers up by 42. You've been listening to Indiana Basketball on WIUX. The Indiana Hoosiers lead Alabama A&M 67-25 after the first media timeout of the second half. Alongside Zach Browning, my name is Quincy Bell. And Zach, this building has been energized since the tip, and with this being a blowout, not very many people have left. Most people are sticking around for this one. James Flippin, a nice pass underneath to Lou Hutchinson, who slams it down with 2 hands.
Yeah, this building very energized. There's a juice to it. Even when there's not a big play happening, there's still a little bit of a buzz you can feel.
67-27. The Hoosiers lead it. Tucker DeVries on the right wing. Now Wilkerson top of the key. Now Enright left wing. Drives into the middle. Back to Alexis. Enright. Now DeVries. Down low to Wilkerson. He goes for the dunk on flipping, but he lays it up and drops it home. Wilkerson goes right at the big man and finishes 69-27, the lead for Indiana with 15 minutes left in the game. Flip it into the corner. Three ball is up and short from Gabe Kinsey. DeVries pulls down the rebound. Moving it across the timeline, cross court to Wilkerson. From way downtown. No good, leaves it short. And Flippin fights for the rebound with Alexis and comes away with it. Kinsey moves it across the timeline for Alabama A&M. Now Dozier, right elbow looking, drops it back for Flippin. The big man will try a three, and he knocks it down. 6'10", 275, the senior James Flippin with his first three. It's 69-30, the lead in favor of Indiana. Alexis, handoff to DeVries, driving baseline. Tried to get it over to Wilkerson, but Pieces steps in front and takes it away. Here's a three in transition from Lou Hutchinson, and he knocks it down. Back-to-back threes for the Bulldogs, and Darren DeVries has called a timeout. We'll step aside for a short moment. You've been listening to Indiana basketball on WIUX. Back from Assembly Hall, 2 threes from Alabama A&M made this a 69-33 game, and Zach, Coach DeVries had seen enough and called a timeout.
These are the moments in these types of games where if you're the head coach, you still want to see them play like it's 0-0, and he felt like those last 2 threes came a little bit too easy for Alabama A&M.
6-0 run for the Bulldogs. Indiana has made 4 of their last 5 shots. DeVries, right wing. Swing pass to Alexis on the baseline, now drops it back for DeVries. Right wing looking, he's double teamed. Throws it over to Sisley in the opposite corner. Down low, Alexis for an easy layup. Nobody on the floor to transfer. And Alexis with 17 points, a perfect 6 of 6 from the field today. Pieces. Gets it, pass inside is knocked away by Conaway. He palms in, just throws it out of bounds. So Indiana will still let Alabama A&M have the ball. 71-33, the lead for Indiana. Pieces. Flip it in the high post. Swings it over in the corner. 3 attempt from Bilal Abdul-Rahman. Misses everything. Sisley in the corner. Thought about a 3. Now gives to DeVries. Now Conaway near midcourt. Guarded tightly by Dozier. Conaway gets a screen from Alexis. Crosses over. Drives to the block. Outside to DeVries. 3. Good! Tucker DeVries off the dribble. Drops it home. Nothing but net. 74-33. The lead for the Hoosiers, and DeVries is up to 13 points. 12:40 to go in the game. Flipping. Down low, backing it on Alexis. Now Pieces top of the key. Now Dozier right wing. Now a corner 3 from Hutchinson, and he drops it in. Lou Hutchinson with his second 3, and Alabama A&M has made their last 3 threes. 12:20 to go. Dozier tightly guarding Conaway near midcourt. Conaway, now DeVries left wing. Dozier knocked it out of the hands of DeVries and out of bounds off the scorer's table. Some new faces will check in for Indiana. Enright, Miles, and Bailey will check in on behalf of DeVries, Wilkerson, and Sisley. Bailey gets it at the top of the key off the inbounds pass. Looking for space. Enright drives to the right wing. Down low. Bounce pass to Bailey, who slams it down again. His 3rd dunk in the second half gets the Hoosiers back up by 40.
Quincy, how many open looks has this team generated tonight, whether they've been dunks at the rim or open threes? The passing, the player movement, the slipping of these screens has been fantastic.
Flip it. Posting up Bailey. Spins, and he is fouled. They will call DeVries for a reach-in. We're under 12 to go in the game, which means immediate timeout, and we will step aside for a moment. You've been listening to Indiana Basketball on WIUX. 11:43 to go in the game number one for the Indiana Hoosiers against Alabama A&M. They lead the Bulldogs 76-36. Zach, they have been playing about as well as they can, and they have a big matchup coming up on Sunday against Marquette at the United Center in Chicago. And if I'm Marquette, I'd be a little scared watching this Hoosiers team.
Yeah, I know that Darren DeVries probably not too happy with the first about 8 minutes of the second half, though. It's an 18-14 scoreline in the second half, so Darren DeVries is not going to be happy with that. He wants the effort through all 40 minutes, but that Marquette game will likely say a lot about where this Indiana team is at this early in the season.
Lou Hutchinson on the left wing now gives it. Top of the key, driving into the lane. Layup does not go, but a foul is called. Hutchinson will go to the line for two.
Hutchinson, quite a story, quite a ride to get here. It's been up and down. He had a really bad arm injury during his junior year at IMG. Ended up having to get 5.5-hour surgery. He was rushed to the hospital immediately, a double compound fracture in his left arm. He was told he'd need 6 to 8 months to recover. And Quincy, he was back in 4 weeks at 100%. And now he's here playing Division I basketball.
A pretty impressive story from the junior from Washington, D.C. He splits his 2 free throws at the line, 76-37, the lead for the Hoosiers. Bailey, top of the key, feeds it to Josiah Miles, gets around the defense, drives through the lane and slams it down! A poster for Josiah Miles gets the Hoosiers up by 41. Flipping on the other end, spinning against Bailey. Lays it off glass, no good. DeVries fights for the rebound and comes away with it. Quickly across the top line, lobs for Bailey. Couldn't handle it off the glass. Dozier the other way for the Bulldogs. Hutchinson, baseline guarded by Enright. Top of the key, flipping, pulls a three. Misses it off the backboard, didn't hit the rim. Bailey drops it back for Conaway, who will move it across the timeline. Pass knocked out of bounds by Flippin. It will stay with the Hoosiers. Man, the dunks are flying around today, Zach. The Hoosiers are getting up high and down hard.
You think anybody has ever had more emphatic first career points at a new destination? That's his first points as a Hoosier.
DeVries quickly out of the inbounds pass. Enright back to Conaway. DeVries drives past his man, gets to the cup, and Hutchinson with some great defense getting back. He knocked it out of bounds off of DeVries, and the Bulldogs will have the ball. But Josiah Miles absolutely putting Lou Hutchinson on a poster. The 6'3" junior got up there, slammed it down. Miles was all ace on third team at North Florida. Averaged 15 points a game last year, and he looks to be a good piece off the bench for the Hoosiers. 10 minutes to go in the game. Flipping. Top of the key for the Bulldogs. He'll take it, spins on Bailey. Down low. Layup is good for Ty Davis. 78-39. Conaway walks it slowly up into the front court. Gets to the top of the key, crosses over with a screen from Bailey. And he had it knocked out of his hands, but Miles comes up with it. Bailey thought about a three. Now he'll drive straight past everyone and slams it down with the left hand. 80-39 the lead for the Hoosiers. Pass up ahead, knocked out of bounds by DeVries, but he saves it. Back to Conaway. This Hoosier defense is flying. Conaway to the bucket, and he throws it in with the right hand. 82-39. Kentavious Dozier will call timeout, and the Bulldogs will talk it over. Indiana up by 43 with 9:07 to go in the game. We'll step aside for a moment. You've been listening to Indiana Basketball on 99.1 WIUX. Simon Scott Assembly Hall. The Hoosiers lead it 82-39 against the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Zach, the Indiana Hoosiers have had 22 dunks in this game. That has accounted for 27% of their points.
Yeah, it's been a dunk contest in here, especially in the second half, especially the last couple of possessions. Indiana, they are athletic this year. I think they can confirm that.
In the corner, Gabe Kinsey fires up a three, misses it short, and Enright flies high for the rebound. He'll move it across the timeline for the Hoosiers and give way to Conaway. Now Bailey high post. In the corner, Alexis pulls a three. Misses it long, out of bounds off of Miles on the rebound attempt, and the Bulldogs will have the ball back. That is the first missed field goal from Sam Alexis today.
I think the staff will like, though, that he's attempting those threes. They want him to shoot those. It adds a little bit more stretchiness to Indiana's defense, or offense, I should say.
Bilal Abdul-Rahman with it at the top of the key for Alabama A&M. Feeds it to Davis. Swing pass over to Kinsey. He'll drive baseline. And he throws it right into the hands of Connor Enright. Quickly across the timeline, Indiana with numbers. Conaway to the rack, and he throws it down again. 23 dunks for the Hoosiers.
Karan Davis made a business decision on that one, too. He stepped out of the way.
84-39 with 8 minutes still to go in the game. Abdul-Rahman guarded by Conaway. He'll drop it back for P.J. Eason. Looking, driving into the lane. Pull-up jumper off the glass and good. Excuse me, that was Contavious Dozier who gets the basket to fall. He is the second Bulldog in double figures. He has 10. Hutchinson the only other one with 12. 84-41. The Hoosiers lead it. Conaway crosses over and Dozier takes it away. Feeds it to Kinsey on the left wing. Looking around for a pass, now finds Davis. Now it's Abdul-Rahman. He'll drive on Enright. Layup off the glass, no good, but Enright comes away with a foul. His third of the game. We'll keep it here for the most famous timeout in all of college basketball. 84-41, the lead for Indiana. 31 of 48 from the field, that's 65%. 8 of 20 from three, that's 40%. 14 of 14 from the line, that's 100%. They've scored 16 points off of turnovers. They've out-rebounded Alabama A&M 34-14. 21 points off the bench. 11 points in transition to go with 7 steals and 20 assists. Which of those stats piques your interest the most, Zach?
I think it's probably the three-point shooting, just because of the lack of three-point shooting Indiana has had over the last near decade here in Bloomington. It's not just the 8 made threes, it's the 20 attempts, and it's the shooting 40% on those 20 attempts. And this is probably going to be on the lower end in terms of three-point attempts in a game for Indiana this season. They'll get up into 30s a lot this season in terms of three-point attempts, and that's the recipe for success. It's going to lead to some high variance. They're going to have nights where they can't drop it in the ocean, and they struggle a little bit offensively. But the fact that they've generated the amount of open looks that they have, whether it's been dunks, whether it's been layups, whether it's been open threes, the movement, the off-ball movement, the slipping of screens, the slipping of flare screens, it's all been fantastic so far if you're an Indiana fan.
And the defense is something that has impressed me at least, because on nights where you do have an off-shooting night from shooting so many threes, you can still hang the hat on the defense being very solid to where you can shoot 20% from three and maybe steal a win in some games.
Holding Alabama and A&M to 34.9% from the field, forcing 11 turnovers. The defense has been good. It was much better in the first half than it has been in the second half. But if Indiana wants to compete in the Big Ten, I think that is the part where their ceiling can be raised the most, Quincy. They can be a good team if they shoot well from three and their defense is mediocre. They can be a really good to great team if their defense is not even elite, but just one of the top 5 or 6 defenses in the conference.
Abdul-Rahman will head to the line for 2 shots. Into the face of a lot of fatheads being held by the Indiana student section. He gets the first one to rattle home. Plenty of faces. We have Shaq, LeBron, Barney the Dinosaur, Sheldon Cooper, Daniel Jones, Lee Corso, a 6'7" for good measure, Kyle Schwarber, and Rahman misses the second one long. DeVries will bounce it over to Conaway, who will bring it across the timeline for the Hoosiers. 84-42, they are doubling up the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M. Conaway in the corner to Bailey down low, and he throws it down with the right hand. Reed Bailey with more dunks than I've been able to count today, Zach.
Yeah, and it's interesting. This is really the second time tonight we've seen this 2 big lineup with Bailey and Alexis. I'm interested to see how they operate offensively as far as the spacing is concerned.
Karan Davis drives, floats it up with the right hand, no good, and Alexis comes down with the rebound. It's Bailey, Alexis, Conaway, Wilkinson, and DeVries on the court for Indiana. Conaway looking, hands it over to DeVries, top of the key. Drives it down to the corner. Swing pass over to Wilkerson on the left wing. Drives into the lane, back outside DeVries. Right wing 3, misses it short. Long rebound, comes back to DeVries. He'll pull another 3. This one is good. 89-42, the lead for the Indiana Hoosiers with 6 minutes to go in the game.
And that off of a tip out from Sam Alexis. That's his 8th rebound of the ball game.
Dozier guarded closely at midcourt by Wilkerson. Directing traffic, he moves Rahman out of the corner. Crosses over, still with the ball is Dozier. Wilkerson guarding him very closely. Crossover, Dozier with a long 2 and he drops it in. 89-44, that was some great defense there from Wilkerson, but a tough shot and a make from Kentavious Dozier.
Dozier's a tough shot maker, that's what he is.
Conaway straight to the rack, right down the center of the lane, and gets the layup to fall. 91-44, Indiana leads it. Abdul-Rahman into the front court for the Bulldogs. And he is fouled by Conaway as he tried to hand it off to Dozier. That's the second foul on Conaway. He has 14 points to go with 5 assists.
Quincy, we should add that last 3 for Tucker DeVries puts him at 16 points on the night. It also pushes him across the 2,000 career point mark. He needed 14 on the night. He's got 16 and now is over 2,000 career points.
So congratulations to Tucker DeVries. 5 Hoosiers in double figures. Long 3 from Sam Pieces is no good. DeVries comes down with the rebound. Bailey with 21, Wilkerson with 19, Alexis with 17, Conaway with 14, and DeVries with 16. DeVries spins and passes out to Wilkerson, top of the key, now Bailey. Driving it in, DeVries, baseline, pump fakes, drives underneath, layup off glass is good with the left hand. 93-44. The Hoosiers up by 49 points. Pieces tightly guarded by Wilkerson. Down low to flip it. Backing it down on Alexis. Layup no good, but Alexis called for the foul underneath. With 4:28 to go, the senior from Milwaukee will head to the line. James Flippin in 2025 averaged 7 points per game to go with 2 rebounds and 1.1 assists. One of the many transfers from Grambling State following his head coach Dante Jackson. First free throw for the big fella. Ribs in and out. And the Bulldogs have struggled from the free throw line today. They are now 8 of 16. That's 50%. Some subs are checking in for Indiana. Most notably, even Ian Stevens, the junior walk-on from New Palestine. The fans loving him getting into the game. Second free throw from Flippin is good. And some more subs will check in for Indiana to take over this last 4 minutes and change. Drew Snively, another freshman, checks in.
I think that's Trice Grinsing with him as well, another freshman walk-on. So it's that point of the game now for Darren DeVries, is emptying the bench.
Josiah Miles top of the key. Feeds it over to Snively. Now Sisley, another freshman into the game. Miles pulls an open three from the left wing, and he knocks it down. 96-45, the Hoosiers are up by 51. Hutchinson crosses over on Stevens, now flipping into the post. Backing it down on Sisley. Into the paint, swings it into the corner, Hutchinson. Crosses over on the baseline. Comes back to Davis, top of the key. Crosses over on Miles. Karan Davis, off-legged jumper, misses everything. Loose rebound, fight for it, and it's Snively who comes away with it. Miles into the front court for the Hoosiers. Sisley, jab step on Flippin, goes right to the rack, misses the layup short. And Flippin comes down with a rebound. 3:20 to go in the game. Hoosiers 2 buckets away from 100 points. Down low, Flippin on Sisley. Spins, left-handed layup. Does not go. Miles has the rebound. 3 minutes left. Hoosiers by 51. Ian Stephens looking. Top of the key, Miles. Directing traffic, gives to Sisley. Drives baseline on Flippin. Looking for a pass. Down low to Stephens. Leaves the layup short, but he got fouled on his way up. Ian Stephens, a walk-on from New Palestine, did not play at all last year. Got 1 minute of action 2 years ago in the Big Ten tournament against Nebraska. He'll head to the line for 2 when we come back on 99.1 WIUX. 2:51 to go from Assembly Hall. The Indiana Hoosiers lead at 96-45, and Ian Stephens, the junior from New Palestine, Indiana, at the line for 2 shots. The first one is good.
I think we've got a family member of Ian Stevens down in front of us. He's rocking a sweatshirt that has the number 30 and Stevens' last name on it.
Second shot, Stephens knocks it down. 2 points for the walk-on, who's one of the few players who is still here from last year. And the Hoosiers lead at 98-45. Abdul Rahman near midcourt. Guarded by Trice Grinsing. Down low, Flippin on Sisley. Backing it down. The big fella into the paint. Spins around. Right hook is blocked by Sisley. Miles comes away with the loose ball. Hoosiers 1 basket away from 100. Pass up court to Sisley, too high. And he loses it out of bounds.
It was a 100-mile-per-hour fastball there from Josiah Miles. Not an easy catch for Sisley.
Maybe Elijah Surratt comes down with that one. Abdul Rahman handoff to Pieces. Drives to the elbow. Up top, Hutchinson for 3. Good. 98-48. The lead for the Hoosiers with 2 minutes to go. Grinsing, Sisley. Deep 3 from Grinsing. Misses it short. And up high for the rebound, Karan Davis. Abdul Rahman up the other way with speed. Drives into the lane. Layup does not go, but he was fouled on his way up by Grinsing. Alabama A&M in the bonus now, but it's all just bookkeeping from here. The Hoosiers are going to walk away with a dominant win. More than covered the 30-point spread at the start of this game. Minute 43 to go. First shot from Abdul Rahman. Leaves it short. Free throws have been an issue for Alabama A&M. They're now 9 of 18. The Hoosiers A perfect 16 of 16 from the line today. Second free throw from Abdul-Rahman drops. 98-49, the lead for the Hoosiers. Grensing slowly across the timeline. Walks it down to the block. Handoff underneath. Layup misses from Snively. Loose ball picked up by Hutchinson. The other way for the Bulldogs. Davis, a deep three. Leaves it short. And the rebound comes to Snively. Minute 14 to go. Miles, Sisley on the right wing. Looking for space. Grensing. Now Snively looking for space. Grensing top of the key. Sisley right wing. Crossing over. Steps back. Snively driving. Baseline looking. Turning around on Abdul-Rahman. Lays it up. And this rattles in and out. 50 seconds to go. Hoosiers looking for triple digits in this one. They need one more basket to do so. We'll see if they go for it when they get the ball back. Alabama A&M content to take some clock off here. 37 seconds to go. Flip it down low on Sisley. Looking for space, backing it down. Spins, gets underneath. Layup does not go. Rebound to Davis. He puts it back up and in. With 26 seconds left, the Hoosiers lead at 98-51. Shot clock turned off. Miles takes it into the front court, and that'll be all she wrote from Assembly Hall. 13 seconds, and Indiana will watch it come off the clock. Final score, 98 for the Indiana Hoosiers, 51 for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. The buzzer sounds, Zach, a dominant win in game number one of the Darren DeVries era.
Yeah, I'm not sure that DeVries specifically could have asked for a much better start to the game. Tucker eclipsing 2,000 points. He had a near 20-point double-double. Obviously, Darren, the head coach, getting his tenure here in Bloomington started with a W. But for Indiana as a whole, it's taking care of business. This is something that, as I mentioned earlier, the last two head coaches haven't really been able to do in their debuts as head coaches here in Bloomington. That's a heck of a way, though, to start for Darren DeVries.
Leading scorer was Reed Bailey with 21. Wilkerson not far behind him with 19. DeVries with 18. Alexis with 17. Conaway with 14. So plenty of players getting in on the action as Darren DeVries has his first win as Indiana head basketball coach. For Zach Browning, my name is Quincy Bill. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We'll see you next time on Indiana. We'll see you next time for some more Indiana basketball on WIUX.